Isn't it a crazy timeline in that the Joker origin movie of all things is the DC movie I'm most excited to see? So just now, Warner Brothers and DC had just released the official teaser trailer for Joker, and I've gotta say, I am actually blown away by this trailer. Because to me this movie looks incredibly fresh and it has its own identity, and plus the Joker movie in general just looks phenomenal to me. Both in terms of its visuals as well as how they're going to tackle the Joker's origin story. And I do understand that some fans are somewhat iffy about the whole idea of the Joker having his own origin film, but like I keep saying, this is an Elseworld story, it's not connected to the entire DC extended universe, so if anything this is more of an experimental piece, which is something that I can actually admire. And why this is an experimental piece is because they're going in a completely different direction, unlike your traditional comic book films. Mainly because we are following the origin of a supervillain rather than a superhero. In this being the guy who will end up becoming the Joker, Arthur Fleck. And how we're going to see a story of a guy who is very down on his luck and will inevitably transform into a psychopath after a series of unfortunate events. And why this is unlike any other comic book film thus far is because this seems to be more like a character study than anything else. And what I really enjoy about this movie thus far is that the overall tone is so well balanced, because it's incredibly dark and gritty and at times very disturbing to look at, which is incredibly fitting considering how we are tackling the origin of a psychopath. Though at the same time it still has plenty of colour to help give it its own identity. And in a way this movie is a perfect amalgamation of the Dark Knight trilogy with its dark and gritty tone, as well as the Tim Burton films in the sense that it does have plenty of colour and it does feel a lot more like a comic book film. Speaking of having its own identity, I really do love what they are doing with Gotham City, because it just feels so unique and something we haven't seen within the Batman mythos before. It has its own gothic aesthetic, while it's also grounded in reality. And once again, it is a very fresh take on Gotham City, almost making Gotham City a character within itself. And why I say this is because it perfectly demonstrates on what Gotham City can do to pretty much anyone because of its cruel environment, which is something that we rarely see these days. So it does has me all the more intrigued to see on what they're going to do with this concept and how they're going to tackle this with the Joker. And I have seen that some people are still kind of up in the air regarding Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck and the Joker, mainly because he seems a bit too much like Heath Ledger to some extent. But when watching this trailer, I don't really get the sense of Heath Ledger at all. And clear as day, Joaquin Phoenix is doing his own take on the Joker and he doesn't feel like an imitation of anything that came before. Sure, some may argue that the greasy long hair is very reminiscent to Heath Ledger's portrayal, as well as his messy suit. But again, I just think that this movie is just taking certain elements from the best incarnations of the Joker and making it something entirely new. And so far, I can safely say that Joaquin Phoenix does have the potential in being a Joker that we will all remember for the right reasons. I could just talk about this trailer and how Joker looks in general for hours on end, but truth be told, I think that this is the DC film we have been waiting for. The movie looks incredibly dark, it looks incredibly depressing, and it looks incredibly fun all at the same time. And so far, this movie does seem to have the right balance of everything. Plus it does help that we are going to have a compelling version of the Joker in the form of Joaquin Phoenix. And in my eyes, Joker could very well be DC's biggest hit since The Dark Knight. So what do you personally think of the official teaser trailer for Joker? Do you think that this could very well be DC's best film they've made in years, or do you think that a Joker origin film is pretty unnecessary? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video, please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.